This is an official T.T.R.T documentation. This is part 2 of my attempts to get an appointment with Sheriff Dupnik. So this is my request for an appointment with Sheriff Dupnik, and they told me he's not going to make an appointment with me, and that their internal affairs handles stuff, although their internal affairs doesn't handle stuff. Well, for the likings of the civilians, it would seem anyway. Obviously, for the likings of officers that I allege criminal conduct on and violations of laws and procedures. But here we go, part 2. It's 1:51 p.m. Friday, 1/28/2011. Here we go. Well, where is it? There it is. Play.
Well, yes, I'd like to get an appointment with Dupnik to go over some things that I did bring to a gal down there's Internal Affairs attention. I think her last name started with B. I can't remember.
Okay.
And then also a Detective Rice. I have a letter here from Sean Hogan, the legal advisor for your sheriff's department.
Okay.
And it says I put in a records request for any referrals by Sean Payne or any employees that would refer my complaints to the Attorney General as Sean Payne indicated that would have to be done. Okay, well, I've contacted the Attorney General. The Attorney General said that the sheriff's got to take a look at it, and they said that the sheriffs have to send a written referral. Well, Sean Hogan said that no written referrals exist, and that the Pima County Internal Affairs Unit does not make referrals, written or otherwise. This is Sean Hogan's response.
Okay.
And so Sean Payne,
right,
sent me on a wild goose chase, ran me into a block wall basically by referring me to the Attorney General, because the legal advisor clearly says here that they don't do that.
Correct. Okay.
And so I kind of feel like the Internal Affairs guy might have put a huge stumbling block in my in the investigation to make me run into dead ends like a ping pong ball. And when I look at the obstructing statute, it says that that's obstructing also, along with your Lieutenant Sacco down there has put in writing a letter to which several of us view as obstructing a criminal investigation per the statutory authorities. And Dupnik did receive a letter about that certified return receipt, and it was never responded to. And I'd kind of like to, under the public records law, get a copy of whatever response you guys have down there on the file, and that would be under 39121 ARS.
Well, you can go and send us a written request for that.
Okay, is it standard that people have to send for written requests when they make allegations of criminal activity within the Internal Affairs Department to get a response? Or do all complaints get responses?
Say that again?
Not on that one, I didn't. That was after Lieutenant Sacco sent the...
No, can you repeat what you said? I can't follow what you're saying very well.
Okay, I'm sorry. I never got a final response to the letter that went to Sheriff Dupnik, the chiefs down there, and other officials. And I kind of still like to get a response to that. But, for example, here's another issue. I let Detective Rice know and this other gal down there that your your web page is considered public record, yes or no?
I believe it is.
I believe it is too. Thanks. And I did let them know that down there on your records website, to which let's see, where is it? I might have here, right here. Records. Phone numbers.
Again, your question about that is something I'd ask the legal advisor. I'm not going to speak on whether it's public record. I can tell you have access to the web page like any other public does, as far as logging on and viewing the public site.
I already know that it is, like you indicated you believe it was, but here's the deal there, that nobody's replied to me on this issue, and I've let two Internal Affairs guys know. I've tried to make contact with Dupnik's office to get an appointment. I've tried to make contact with Tony Stevens and Frank Gonzalez, to which they haven't returned my calls. And I'm going to let you know, I guess, what's your name again?
Anna Peru.
Okay, so I'll let you know that on your Pima County Sheriff's Department website about doing records requests by mail or in person, just past the address, when it says when making a records request, the following information is required. Well, it's not required, and that's a false statement, and it's on your website, and I've let people know about it, and it hasn't been corrected. And how I know it's false is because your legal advisor responded to me when I asked for if, let's see, what did I ask for here? Hold on one moment, please. Response. Here we go. I sent a request in, I quote, please provide a complete, fully updated in its entirety, written procedure for your internal... Oh, that's another one, sorry. Fully updated interview. Anyways, I'm just going to summarize. I got it here somewhere, but I got a stack of paperwork. I asked if it was mandatory or voluntary to show identifications to obtain public records, and your legal advisor's response was, some here in my paperwork says that it is not mandatory to show identification to obtain public records, to which your department members down there keep implying that it is, demanding names, and your website is inconsistent with your legal advisor's opinion, which is a legal opinion, so I'm going off of his opinion because he's a Pima County attorney guy. I guess he would know if anybody would know. That it is not mandatory. And when your website says required, that is implying that it is mandatory, when contrary to the fact that it is not required and not mandatory, and it is voluntarily. And so I think the website has false information on it, and because I've let people know it's willfully up there false, and I'm saying since it's a public record, I think it's tampered with, and maybe I'm wrong. Of course, you guys will say probably, oh, you're wrong, no policy violations, no law violations, but I think I'm right. And I'd like to know, maybe without me making a complaint, couldn't I just talk to Dupnik and get all this stuff in front of him, and then he can run it by the legal advisor and go through, because every time I go through internal affairs, there seems to be some kind of stumbling block. Go to the Attorney General. Well, that's obstructing, because the legal advisor says they don't do that. And John Payne should have never sent me on that wild goose chase and referred me to them, because you guys don't do that. And so that's obstructing right there. I just need to get a bunch of this stuff on the record, because Dupnik seems to want to fly straight and narrow at this point on the news media, and I just want to know if he really does. Does he want to look into this stuff and handle it, or does he want to leave it all covered up and, oh, well, let's just say leave it in the back burner in the recyclable, or in the garbage can filing cabinet? I don't know. Do I sound like I'm making sense to you?
I'm just trying to follow what you're saying.
Okay, well, so you know that your website has a false statement on it, and if I bring you a copy of this, your legal advisor's printout here, you can go through and see what he says, that it's not required to identify yourself.
Why don't you just mail that to me, and I can take a look at that, and I'll talk to the legal advisor about that, so I can get his speak to him about your concerns again.
Okay, well, I'm just going off what he said, and then your website's inconsistent, and it is, well, now that I've let everybody know it's impaired, or it's not right. Anyways. Okay, so can you transfer me back to Dupnik's office? I have other things I need to make an appointment with him about, and I'm just documenting what does it take to get an appointment with Sheriff Dupnik to let him know some things that he needs to know of.
Well, we handle that, and he's not going to schedule an appointment with you.
Well, see, that's my point. You guys haven't handled it, and I brought it to several of your attention, several of your personnel department several of your department personnel's attention with internal affairs.
Okay.
And that letter from Lieutenant Sacco that was sent to us, all obstructing 3 different witnesses in 2 different cases, and she put it in writing, and threatening of harassment if we try to correct her willful misconstrued statements. That's also obstructing, but using threats of an unlawful imprisonment under the guise of harassment, which would be threats and intimidation caused bodily harm with handcuffs alone, in my mind, is unacceptable to get people to go away that are trying to connect the dots up and correct willfully misconstrued statements by internal affairs lieutenants.
Okay.
And so I've said it before, I kind of think that part of your department is broken down there, and if you want to go through all my stuff again when someone's already gone through it and your lieutenant's already obstructed, who's going to check your lieutenant's paperwork to these 3 victims and view them? Sean Payne again? He was already told what to do, I guess, and close the case. You know, Lieutenant Sacco sent a threatening letter. Does Sheriff Dupnik take an interest in this kind of stuff going on in his department, or does it just end with internal affairs saying we're done, we don't want to hear about it?
No, I don't believe that's the case. But he's not going to schedule an appointment with you. That's why I'm talking to you right now.
Okay, well, a long time ago I did get an appointment with Chief Chesky.
Okay.
That was as far as I ever got, but I have been asking for an appointment with Dupnik for many years now, and I'm just still documenting what it takes to get an appointment with Dupnik.
Well, I will make your request known.
Okay. You guys have my number down there?
I don't, but if you give it to me, that'd be great.
Okay, and I'll just
I
leave
don't have
it.
your name as well. Why don't you give me a name and a...
Pardon me?
Why don't you give me your name and a phone number? I don't even have your name yet.
Okay. My name is Aaron Ray, Aaronrey, and the phone number is
018. Say it again for me.
A-A-R-O-N.
Okay, and R-A-Y?
That's R-E-Y.
R-E-Y. So I'll get 401.
I know you have to listen to probably people all the time with gripes, but I have serious gripes, serious concerns, and I can articulate serious cover-ups, and I want this stuff looked into, not just a letter saying go away or we'll arrest you for harassment and we don't want you to correct our willfully misconstrued statements, blah blah blah. Woof, woof, woof. Anyways, let me know. Maybe I can have an appointment with you, and we can just go through a bunch of different stuff I got, and you can tell me.
Let me do some research before I do that, before I schedule anything.
Oh, okay, good enough. I'll take that into advisement there, and I'll let you do it, and I'll talk with you later then, sir.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you. You have a good day also, and have a better tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.
This concludes this portion of this official Tucson Tyranny Response Team documentation documenting what does it take to get an appointment with Sheriff Dupnik to expose corruption in his department over a period of the last 10 plus years, and I can go back further than 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in, YouTubers. I'm posting this to YouTube here shortly, and the time now is 12:15 p.m. It is Friday. It is 1/28/2011. Today is the day of the protest at the department, and I'm considering going down there with a camera and interviewing people's opinions. Have a great day all, and have a better tomorrow.
Okay, this is a recap. This was my request for an appointment with Dupnik and what it takes to attempt to get one, and stumbling blocks obviously of they're not going to make me one, and they haven't ever done that, with exception to did get to meet with Chief Chesky years ago. Anyways, now the time is 2:03 p.m. Friday, 1/28. It is 2011. This has been an official Tucson Tyranny Response Team documentation, documenting what we believe is corruption and needs to be exposed, and asking for an appointment at the same time to do it with Sheriff Dupnik. Okay, YouTubers and we the people, you have a great day and a better tomorrow. Good day.